Welcome to the Witcher 3 Gwent edition. Today we are tackling the card Biting Frost, and we want to answer basically three questions. Question number one, what exactly does it do? Question number two, when is it best to use? And of course our final question, question number three, can we block it? Is there a way we can block it and make it so it can't be used? We're going to tackle all three of those questions as we move forward. First, let's tackle the question of what does it do? And basically what it does is it makes all close combat cards with a sword on it, for both you and your opponent, worth only 1 point. Now this does not include black cards, and we'll take a look at what that means in just a second here. A black card is a card with a black spot on the number instead of the versus a white card which has a white spot on the number. The difference is black cards cannot have their values modified. White cards can, for better or worse, for that matter. Now let's say, for example, we use the Biting Frost card. If we use the Biting Frost card, Vesemir is going to be worth 1 point. Zoltan is going to be worth 1 point, and the black card we cannot modify, so that'll still be worth 8 points. Now there's another variation to that, and that's only, again, for the Biting Frost is only going to work for the cards in close range with the sword on it. And the variation that I was talking about is this horn right here, or an equivalent of that. The horn would double the values of white cards. And in this case, if we use the Biting Frost and there's a horn on these cards, they'll each be worth 2 points instead of 1. So both Vesemir and Zoltan will be worth 2 points each. Let's tackle the next question. When is it best to use? And the answer to that question is going to be if our opponent has more close range points than us and we think it's a reasonable move. So this example on the right would be a good spot to use Biting Frost, as our opponent has 79 points. We only have 13. Obviously the black cards are not going to be affected, but these cards will be affected. They'll only be worth 2 points each. So we're going to gain a lot of points by making a move in this spot right here. To the right is a full screenshot of the actual game I was referring to. And in this example, our opponent has 89 points, while we only have 65 points. So in this spot, if we use the Biting Frost, we're going to gain a lot of points. And it may even be enough points to win. Let's take a look at here and use it. There we have it, and we covered. And if you'll notice, there's not much our opponent can do unless our opponent has a way to block the card, which our opponent does not, and we win the game. Now, one caveat here on when it's best to use is when it's not best to use. And that's, for example, let's say you have too many of the Biting Frost card. It may not be effective. If it's not used effectively, it can be a wasted card. In the example on the right we have right here, we've got too many of the Biting Frost, and not any good spots to use it. So in this example on the right, we're holding 2 Biting Frost cards, and there's no good spots to use the cards. So we're actually wasting the card, and we're not getting any value out of it. So in this situation right here, we got 2 Biting Frost cards, and we basically just wasted having it. Yeah, so you want to try to avoid those situations. But if you have one on hand and your opponent has a lot of cards with that are close range, it can be very, very effective to use it in those situations. The final question we have to tackle here is, can we block it? And the answer, of course, is yes. That is, if you have a clear weather card or the equivalent, such as a faction leader card, you can block the effects of Biting Frost, which can be very good if you have a little bit too many close range troops and your opponent has just neutralized. You can always come back with a block. Just something to keep in mind. And of course, that is going to wrap this up. Hopefully these tips helped you out with the Biting Frost card. As always, I am signing out, and thank you for watching.